Hi. So, I think we're going to call this void signal moments. Um, it's kind of an idea I'd been kicking around for a while of because I've had a couple of people say like, "Oh, just turn the mic on and talk," and say whatever you need to, and let it out. So we're trying that. We'll keep it light for this episode. Um, I've been going through a lot lately, so I don't want to get too heavy. And we'll keep it pretty low key for this one. That said, it is hard to shift my thoughts away from the things I've been having to deal with. So I guess I'll try and at least comment on some of the things that I've observed or learned or thought that might be somewhat adjacent to this. I don't know, maybe it's fucking useful. Maybe it helps you feel better. Maybe it helps you feel like fucking the things you're doing matters. I don't know. So the first thing I'll say is that these are probably not going to be cut very much. Probably not at all is what we will say. So I will try to remind myself to not bump the microphone or raise my voice too much or, cough too much, stutter, lose my place because I don't want to hear these again. Not in like a bad way or anything, but just like this is something I'd like to just make and put up and it's done. A sort of a special conversation between us, I guess, loyal patrons. It feels derogatory almost to refer to my audience as that. That's one thing that I have come to realize through everything I've been going through lately is that I am, as much of my life as I have felt alone, in the past couple of, let me pick a good time frame here. In the past year, I would say, I have become very not alone. Void Signal has brought me to wonderful people who care what I have to say for some reason and are attracted to me and who I am, and just because of who I am. And that's not a thing I've ever been able to experience quite like this before. Nonetheless, at a time when I needed it. So if you are one of those people, and if you're hearing my voice, you are, thank you. It means a lot to me. I felt so alone for so much of my life, and part of the reason that I wanted to start doing Void Signal was that, I'll gloss over the dark parts, but I spent a lot of time growing up in the dark, late at night, all night, usually, till the sun came up, so that I could be alone and I could be with my emotions. And I would have headphones and I'd lay there and I'd listen to the radio, and it was a way for me to lay in the dark and experience my emotions in private without anybody else being around. So music became a way for me to feel love and beauty and, all the things that music can give you, right? Like the full range of human emotion. Music gave me that. when I wasn't able to have it any other time. So I think that's why it's always been such a powerful draw for me and such an outlet. It's because it does give me that chance to experience things that are overwhelming otherwise. My emotions are strong, and they have overwhelmed me for much of my life. And I turned to alcohol and all kinds of things to try and, nothing too crazy, but, to try and get myself under control a little bit better. And we've made some progress, but it still feels like so much. Anyway, so the reason that I wanted to start Void Signal in the first place was because I've had so many late nights, by choice. I couldn't sleep. Childhood things. But so I stay up late. My schedule's fucking all over the place. I got ADHD. Probably a bunch of other stuff. Who knows? Brain things that prevent me from sleeping. So being up late by myself was common. I mean, I did most of my socializing on the internet because I was homeschooled, and so that was my only outlet. I didn't know anybody, and I didn't go out. So communicating with weirdos on the internet and music was a quick and easy bond with not great people. But that's okay. I mean, the internet was the fucking Wild West back then, and somehow I slipped through the cracks and turned out okay. Mostly. I just mean that, like, nothing super bad happened to me on the internet, I guess. But I don't know, close maybe. Who knows? But that was a lot of my youth, was up late on the internet talking to strangers just because I didn't want to be alone. And I don't know, I wanted to make a weird late night radio show that, I don't know, it was comforting, and it was off the wall and stupid, but it was friends. It was people, that you could turn on and that you could be around when you needed to be, whether that's at 3 a.m. Lying in the dark on the floor, or maybe that's going to take a shower to take your mind off of what you look like so that you can take a shower, or just helping you escape from what you got going on for 20 minutes, however long you can put up with me. That's what I wanted to give. And that's what I've always wanted Void Signal to be. I mean, yeah, it's journalism. It's a thing that's centered around my passion, the thing I love, a thing I could make if I put in the time. But life never afforded me the time, and I was never able to give it, and I never pursued it. I got better at this. Because, like I said in my youth, I did a lot of talking. I've talked to a lot of people from a lot of different places, and that doesn't make me an expert on anything, but this is my best attempt at trying to give to that younger version of myself what he needed, which was just people, having conversations, communicating like adults as individuals. So, yeah, it's, I don't know, I guess I feel like it's kind of taken me 3 years to figure it out, that this is what I wanted it to be. I didn't know. I got into writing magazine articles and reviews and interviews and such, and I went to school for writing. I like it. I do. But I don't know. I didn't know what the fuck this was gonna be. I was just trying to make like something weird like Night Flight or some late night radio show that like is in syndication, or it gets bounced off a satellite in Alaska and you happen to pick it up, or whatever. Something that was like personal but remote, so you don't feel bad when you turn it off or you miss it, because who knows when it's going to be on again. This may be the only time you ever hear it, but what if this one time that you hear it is the time that it says that thing that you need? That thing you need to hear a person say to you. That's the thing that I've come to realize, is that like we communicate a lot through text, and how often do we ever get to have a voice that says nice things to us? Or thoughtful things? I mean, not many people take the time for therapy. Not many people can afford to have therapy. And videos on the internet are great. And friends are good too. But sometimes you don't have the right friends. Sometimes you have friends that are only in it for themselves. And I can't give you a guide on, or tips on how to avoid that. I can't. But in the absence of those things, I guess I just wanted Void Signal to be a chance for me to talk to people, to be myself, to say what I have to say, which for whatever reason, for 41 years, is a thing I have felt that I had. When I was a kid, I would, my childhood wasn't all, all pain and misery. I'd go write like a journal, or write little stories, or, weird little news article kind of things. We had a typewriter, and I'd type out little stories and stuff. It never once crossed my mind that I wanted to be a writer or a journalist as a career or anything. So, but I don't know. I just always felt like I had something to say, and I was surrounded by a lot of people who wouldn't listen to me. So that's why I'm so grateful for every second, every moment that every listener has ever given me, because I was always made to feel like I wasn't worth listening to. And I hope that you don't feel that way too. It's terrible. But this is my attempt to give the younger version of myself what he needed to be the parent he needed, whatever you want to say, to just be the person that just said the right things to him for once, that it's okay to feel your feelings, that it's okay to cry and to have emotions and to show them, all those things are okay. All those things are part of being a human being. Feeling vulnerable and small and damaged. It's fine. It's okay to feel that way. It's part of it. And it sucks. But we're going through it together, I guess. Or at least I'm trying to go through it with anybody who wants to go through it with me. And I guess that's where you come in again. My life has grown complicated lately, and it's dredged a lot to the surface that I never had to contend with or think about before. And it's a lot to process. And I don't know that I don't think I would have made it through the past year without the things that Void Signal has given me. So while it has been effort and I've struggled to make it better despite myself, it's given me more than I could ever hope for. I have a community and a family, people that chose me. And I realized that, that was the thing I always wanted. I wanted to be chosen. So, every single time that you choose Void Signal, I beam. I feel on top of the world. I have people who talk to me about the episodes I record and tell me how great they were, or how the person I was talking to told such an interesting story, and how on long car rides it helped them not feel alone. So I'm incredibly grateful. I will never be able to thank you enough for listening and for being here with me. This thing saved me, and it's helped me heal. So I think it's time I gave it the attention that it deserved, which is a lot more than I've been able to give it previously for whatever reasons. They don't matter now, do they? I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that means exactly yet. But I have to invest in the thing that has paid off for me. And I feel like that applies to everything. I reinvested in my health, my mental health, and my physical health, and it's been worth it. And the more effort I've put into Void Signal to try and push it to where it is has been worth it. So, despite the fact that I'm maybe going through the hardest thing I've ever had to do, second most, who knows? Who's keeping count? So despite the fact that I'm going through a lot right now, I am incredibly lucky and extremely fortunate to have set aside enough time in my own life to do a thing that was for me. And it brought me you. And I'm so grateful. I needed it. Alright, well, that's about enough for today. We'll keep these pretty short, I guess. But, yeah, that's why I made Void Signal. It's kind of fucking sad, I know, but that's why. I don't give a shit about fame. I don't, getting to go interview cool people, famous people. It's great. It's cool. But I don't know. I just don't really give a shit anymore. Like, it doesn't matter. I want to keep trying to grow it, but it's already given me what I wanted it to. And I'm so grateful. I'm so lucky. All right, well, that's it. Our first one is done. Thank you for listening when I've needed it. And if nobody told you today, I love you so much. Do something nice for yourself tonight. As a favor to me. Take care. Void Signal intro and outro music courtesy of Processor. Visit processor2.bandcamp.com for more Processor, and visit voidsignal.net to help support the creation of more Void Signal. Thank you.